10. Let's call this episode Getting Petty, right? Because I might have mentioned it before. Richard Petty is probably my favorite NASCAR driver, favorite color scheme of a car. And when they're affordable, or what I consider to be affordable, I generally don't pass them up. I've started getting the Auto World ones. They're making a pretty good variety, but I'll start with the least population of them, and that's these AFX. I don't know if Petty ever had a car scheme like this. Any of you older NASCAR fans, and I'm pretty old, if you ever seen this, I mean, it's quite common. I've seen it in the 43 with different colors, but I've got two pretty good examples. They're non-magnet traction chassis. They're probably original. I don't recall buying bodies and putting these together. One has a red pancake armature. One has a green one. AFX guys will know the difference. I've got a lot of AFX cars. I'm not an avid AFX collector. I know they have a few that I really like these little Petty to like cars. I don't know if that's an actual Petty scheme, but you AFX guys will know. Those are pretty old. I see them. They look pretty expensive. I notice them on eBay when I look, because there's generally two kinds of slot car sellers on eBay. There's ones that know what they're doing, the ones that don't. The ones that say AFX, Tyco, Auto World, when they lump them all together, they're just trying to get you to look at the car. They're not, and that'll aggravate me sometimes if it's an AFX, or worse, when they say it's a Tyco and it's really a lifelike, or it's an AFX and they call it a Tyco. I mean, it can be good in a way because you might get it for cheaper than it's worth. So there is that. Occasionally that works in your favor. I always want to tell them, but then I'm like, no, there's probably no helping this individual if they didn't do their research first. So, I just leave them be, let them advertise whatever it is, and let the buyers know it. I mean, hopefully somebody knows what they're looking at when they're buying slot cars. I think most of the crowd does. But I'll move on to the other smaller population, which currently is Auto Worlds. Now, I got a couple of the Auto World blue Dodges. I do like this color scheme. I had bought the body a long ways, a couple years back, and put it on a chassis, and then I found it recently new in the pack, so I don't know which one is. Well, they both look like the same chassis, so I just guessed right when I put one on there. But so you got the Petty Dodges. There's a Torino out there in this color pattern that I missed when I just hadn't been tracking it. I want to find that. I have it in 132 Petty Torino, and then the Superbird. This is a lighted one from the Wings Warrior set, but I have seen it unlighted on eBay. I just hadn't seen it at the right price yet, or the right price new in the package, which don't have to be new in the package for me, but it can be. And then here's another Auto World. The Petty, it's a Petty Dodge, or it might be I think it's a Dodge. And with the truck, which I do like, and I bought it. I hadn't opened it just because of that truck thing, but won't be long. I'll have it out and running. So that's the three different variations of the Petty car. Again, I said there's a Torino. I've seen another, I don't know if it was this one. There was like a black mat on there and the STP logo. And then I believe I saw one with the red logo as well. Don't have either one of those, so I'll be watching for them, but it's not dire straits. I do like the wheels on that one. It looks pretty good. That is a good looker. And I think these are still pretty findable out there. Not for crazy money. And then into the most populated petty variations is Tyco, which I was always an avid Tyco collector, so they'll be the oldest cars, some of the oldest cars I have, and some of the widest variety. But the oldest petty I have in the Tyco is this one here. These are starting to get a little harder to find in decent condition. I've seen plenty tore up with the pillars all bent out or broken off and people still wanting crazy money. I wouldn't pay a decent amount for one of these unless it's in very, very good condition, because you can still find them. They might be dirty, but that's one of my, I love that color scheme on that. It's just a beautiful car. So not the oldest one. They made one before this, which is very hard to find, quite rare. The one that comes on, it's either Tyco Pro chassis or a curve. This is curve hugger here. And the Tyco Pro chassis one is similar. It's red and blue like this. I don't believe there's a number on the top. I don't remember. But those are very hard to find. I don't think I've ever seen one on eBay. If they were, if I did, it was crazy money. Didn't give it a second thought. And then here's a bit. One is pretty hard to find. They come up a couple times every couple of months. They're usually going to go $80 northward. I missed twice in the $80 range, got outbid. And then this one, I waited till, I just watched it until the last time when I got a notice. I jumped on there and waited till maybe a minute and 20 seconds before it was going to expire. And then I put the most that I was willing to pay, which was, I put $87 because I figured somebody might have 85. And then I just closed it and didn't look anymore. I'm not going to keep jumping. And I did win it right at 86 something, 86.50 maybe. I don't remember what it was. But after shipping and tax, it was pretty close to 95 or close, getting close to the $100 mark. But this one, this Oldsmobile, is pretty. I don't know what the book number is. I don't have the book handy. My buddy Don's borrowing it right now. But so I didn't research any of these before bringing them out. But this one is in pristine condition too. It's beautiful. The right chassis on there. And then, so that car, I guess it was only sold loose. I don't recall it being a set car, although there's a similar associated one. I'll come across that here in a minute. And matter of fact, I'll bring that car out next. Let me find the one that was with it. So then here's the Buick Regal without the Aero Coupe and without the S mark on the back. And this one's in pretty perfect condition. Another one of the very nice ones, but it typically came in a set with this Monroe 88, and I've got like 3 of these Monroe 88s. This is the only one without any decal wear. Every time I see them, the side decals are pretty much destroyed. So I got, and this one I actually got with this car in a set that was incomplete. And the incompleteness was the chassis was all fully disassembled. And I happen to have the right one. I just moved the tires over and wheels over and restored that really quickly. And the body, I was shocked because it was loose laying in there. And amazing that it wasn't destroyed. But that Olds is the same as that one. You would think that they would have done a set like that, but they did not do the old set. They did a set with this one. Can't remember what it was called, but that set was kind of a small track, maybe sort of, not really a figure 8, but it had a circle on the end. And I bought a couple of those just for the bodies because individually people are starting to want pretty high money just for that car on its own. And they're still fairly available. I'm seeing quite a few out there. And then the other car that was in a set with that, well, no, this one came, yeah, you might get it with that one, or you might, I did get another one of these cars in a set, and it came with the Aero Coupe, if I can find it, with this Aero Coupe, right? Got the plastic on the back, and this one is original, intact, still got the melt marks on the plastic that holds that rear Aero Coupe. And the reason I mention that is because there's another version of the Aero Coupe that I think in the book said they were a little harder to find, but this body has been released on the market, and you can still find that body without the Aero Coupe back on eBay for around, I think around 18 bucks. I got another one right here. And this is one where the melt marks are not there anymore. So that means that's one I fished off of a busted up version of this. And I have a couple, like this one here had a tore up back. So I took the Aero Coupe window off and put it on the new body. So that one's back to looking new. It's not, it's still original, it's just not the original window that was on there. I had took it off of one of these and glued it on there. But I've gotten a couple of these that were pretty tore up, but the window was intact. Here's another one. Yeah, it had a busted chip off the air dam. And then I got another one that came in a different set that is still mostly intact, but that pillar is fairly well destroyed. So I had been using this as a runner, but then recently I bought another one of those new bodies. I can restore it, but I do already have two of these Aero Coupes that I've restored. Must be in another box somewhere. I'm not seeing it. But so you got this Aero Coupe with the black painted grills and a fluorescent orange stripe, and no stripe on the back deck either. Same with that one. And then the original Regal, the first one that I remember being released in the sets, no S mark on the back. And in the book, I believe they sold a version of that with the minor sponsors missing. Here's the S mark with all the sponsors and the S mark on the back. And they sold a version of this car without that on there. And they gave you the sticker pack. That might have been their way around getting around the licensing with the minor sponsors. I don't know, or they were doing variations. But there's the S mark cars. I see a lot of these on eBay, and people think they're worth a lot of money, but they don't look like they're that hard to find. They are out there. And then the most common one is this one. Came in twin packs, came in a pack on its own. I don't know if it ever came in any sets, but it's bright fluorescent striping with the blue wheels on an HP7. And I've got some that I've thrown the bodies on 440s that I like to run, so that silver wheels is not right. But then there is one variation in HP7 that does not. Well, I don't know if this is correct in the issue. I'd have to look in the book, but it's the same body, fluorescent striping, right? This one's on an HP7, which would probably be right, but it doesn't have a stripe on the rear deck. The stripe is not extended to the rear deck. That's one of the differences. And there's no white thin stripes along the border of the fluorescent orange. So it could appear to be the same car if you're looking at it on eBay or trying to buy it somewhere. This one has STP on the front fender. That one does not. The other ones, I think they are all pretty much. So this is the one out of the twin pack that came with the Petty Superbird, also on an HP7, right? And that came in a twin pack, and these two came out of a twin pack I bought a very long time ago before Toys R Us went out of business. And here's what one looks like brand new in a twin pack. So I had doubled it up. You still find these, they still show up now and then. But they are, that one, yeah, that one's the HP7 also with the blue. So that's as I remember it coming out. So those two cars are correct, right? And then this is one that I thought was the same as one of the others, but then I noticed that that rear deck stripe wasn't there. And when I checked it in the book, it is a variation, right? So this one, I hadn't really tracked how hard it is to find because it gets buried in with all the other ones just like it. So there's that variation. And then we got, of course, the Andretti one, which this one's on a gold chassis, gold rims. I know that's not right because I just bought a brand new one of those with the crew, black wheels. So, but I have a couple of these. So that's the Andretti Petty Racing Team car. Here's another body. I don't have it currently. The chassis there. I don't know why. I might be changing pickups or something. And then, of course, I guess again, Andretti 43 Cheerios paint scheme, which is, like I said, Petty and Petty related cars. So, and I think I got to the end so far. There might be another one or two oddball somewhere that, like I said, there's that same Petty car or the Andretti car, which they don't seem to be hard to find either. So there's a little peek into the Tyco Petty collection, and I think that's every Tyco Richard Petty car available, minus the super rare Tyco Pro first charger they had out, which is probably I don't know if it was the same year or not, but I'll have to look into that. But yeah, so if I see Petty cars, I generally buy them. There's, like I said, there's another Auto World couple of variations that I keep an eye out for. Hopefully I'll find them. Any of y'all know any of the Tyco Petty variations that exist that I didn't mention? Please do comment and let me know. Like I said, I love Tycos, and the one that I run the most on this variety, I put it's the one in the box with the 440 chassis. I'm not crazy about those. These Buick Regals are really good ones to run. And like I said, the Monroes, they're starting to get a little harder to find. This one I noticed is starting to go for some money, and I don't know. I think they sold it as carded on its own, but I don't remember if it might have been a set car only that came with that Petty. Could be. I don't know. Y'all let me know. And that's about it for getting Petty.